The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. One thing you will often catch me watching other than cartoons are black sitcoms. There are some that I love, some that I despise, some that I like but I think are terrible, and some that I have a love-hate relationship with. But there's one black sitcom in particular that I put high above all the others. For me, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that the show is better than other black sitcoms. I'm just saying it's my number one. And that series is The Parkers. The Parkers is a series about a mother-daughter duo at a community college together in Los Angeles. And let me tell you, it's very dated. While I love The Parkers and it's one of my favorite shows of all time, I will be the first to tell you that this show had major flaws when it deals with its storytelling, introducing important characters that are never brought up again, Nikki and the professor's relationship going from cute to stalkerish and very, very unsettling, transphobia and homophobia.
No, she used to be. That's messed up, Kim. I introduced myself. I don't know why you hating. Got a man.
And so we'll see if he hooks up with her.
And the horrible series finale that's literally in the top 5 worst series finales of all time list for me. Yes, it's beyond awful. But what bothers me so much is how a certain character feels extremely different. For those of you who don't know, The Parkers is a spinoff of Moesha, starring Brandy Norwood, who back in the day was just black Lindsay Lohan. She could sing, she could act, she could dance. She was the it girl. She even had her own doll. That's like a big deal, okay? I had no idea that The Parkers was a spinoff of Moesha until I watched Moesha and found out that's where a few of the characters came from. And these characters are not the same people. The Parkers is a good standalone show, but when it comes to being a continuation of Moesha, it falls flat. All because the side character from Moesha, Kimberly Ann Parker, felt like a different person. Which I understand because The Parkers is about Kim Parker during her adulthood. But girl, she was not this much of an airhead in Moesha. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harriyannahook's Pirate Ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you wanna know why? Come here. I have a little secret that I tell every single person when they come to this channel. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, this is something that I remember that I mentioned a while back, like a whole year ago around the summertime. It may have even been before the summertime, but I mentioned that The Parkers is one of my favorite series ever, and then somebody had asked me how do I feel about Kim Parker's character, and I was like, oh, I have a lot of words. I have a lot of words and opinions, and then the words and opinions that I did say, a lot of y'all agreed. So I know there's an audience for this video. Hooray, yay. So I don't know, sometimes I'll be thinking that I'm making certain videos just for me, but then other times I'd be like, do anybody else care about this issue but just me? And I found out lots of people care about this problem, so we're gonna get into that. But before we go into the issues with Kim Parker's character, I want to talk a little bit more about her, but also I want to talk to you guys about Dossier. As y'all know, I loved him, I adored him. My favorite go-to scent from them so far is Fruity Almond, and I wear it almost every day. And usually the only times I really like to switch up my fragrances is when I'm doing different cosplays and outfits or whatnot. But as y'all know, Natalie Sancour is one of my favorite like fictional characters currently like at the moment, and Fruity Almond from Dossier reminds me a lot of her. Like when it comes to Natalie's character, I don't really take her as like a fruity girl, I'd say, but she'll be okay with it if it has something else that mixes in just as well. And we have that. It's like almonds and peach, and that's when you get like the fruitiness, but then there's also tonka beans and orange blossom, and then like cocoa too, and it makes a very pleasant scent. It is amazing. All right, but I'm gonna be real, Natalie and Kim Parker are not the same kind of person at all. They're completely different. The only thing similar about these two is that they work in the fashion industry. How interesting is that? But I have two scents over here that I love, that I really think that Kim would enjoy. And by the way, I don't know if any of you guys are really into fragrances or whatnot, but the original that this is based off of is like almost like $200. I'm pretty sure they done marked it down. But as somebody who loves perfumes and likes to collect them, as I like to collect perfumes, because I'm like, what would my favorite fictional character want to wear today, especially when I'm cosplaying is whatnot. I don't know what it is, but I have to cosplay with like a specific perfume that I think that character will wear. I don't know, that's just me, okay? But perfume be adding up. I have spent almost $200 on single perfumes, okay? And then sometimes you want like a smaller bottle, and the smaller bottle be like this big, and it's like $50. And I'm just like, huh? As somebody who don't be having money to be spending like that, I am a college student. Dossier helps me with my fragrance obsession and me wanting to do multiple different cosplays and having multiple different scents to go with those. So if I were to cosplay as Kim Parker, I'm pretty sure she would like this floral pink pepper scent. My sister is a big fan of the Parkers, and she loves this one so much. And the thing about this one right here is that I don't really take like Kim as a fruity girl. I take her more as a floral girl. And this one right here, it has bergamot, and then the middle notes are like rose and pink pepper, and it is peppery, and it has vanilla in the base notes with patchouli. Like, I was like, this is honestly a good mix right here. And I was like, I can see Kim wearing more spicier scents, as she was like a risk taker and she was like an adventure seeker. So I was like, what other scent do I think would fit Kim's character well? And here I have ambery cherry. Now this one right here I was very unsure of, because I was like, I like cherries, I like the way they taste, but do I like the way they smell? And this is a very unique scent. I never really smelled anything like it, but like I said, it has almond in it. As y'all say, y'all know I love the fruity almond scent. That's probably why I was so drawn to this one right here. The middle notes are cherry and almond and cinnamon. And I noticed one thing about a lot of these fragrances that I have gotten from Dossier is that the ones that usually are my favorites are the ones that have base notes with vanilla in them. Kim would most definitely wear this one. Like, y'all know when she has her when she does her freestyle unity concerts, I'm pretty sure ambery cherry would be her go-to scent there. Floral pink pepper would be more of her, you know, more of her everyday wear ones, but I feel like this one would be more for like special occasions when she's having concerts or she's going out on a date with someone. If you guys are interested in any of these products that I have talked about here today, I will have the link to Dossier down below. You'll get a nice little code down there with some monies off, because y'all know we love to save monies over here on the pirate ship. Now, since we just spent a whole who knows how long talking about what I think Kim Parker would wear, we need to actually sit down and talk about Miss Kim Parker. Now we've got the handy dandy outline right here sitting in my lap. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Now I know some of y'all clicked on this video and like, Harry girl, what is flanderization? Captain, what is this word that I have never heard of? And listen, the captain's gonna help you. The captain's gonna help. Flanderization is the process through which a fictional character's essential traits are exaggerated over the course of a serial work. This trope is named after the Simpsons character, Ned Flanders, who started off as a nice man who was devoted to God and then just became one of those judgmental religious people. And y'all know, I'm extra, so I'm gonna put in the TV tropes meeting over here. Y'all, let me tell you, if you ever go on TV tropes, you're not gonna get off that site for probably like 2 hours. If you need a good way to pass time but don't want to scroll through social media, get on TV tropes. The act of taking a single, often minor action or trait of a character within the work and exaggerating it more and more over time until it completely consumes the characters. Most always, the trait or action becomes the complete outlandish and becomes their defining characteristic. Sitcoms and sitcom characters are particularly susceptible to this, as are peripheral characters in shows with long runs. So the last time I mentioned flanderization on this channel, I was talking about a character named London Tipton, who is played by the beautiful and the wonderful Brenda Song. Before anyone says anything, yes, I am aware that Brenda Song voices Anne from Amphibia. I found out that Brenda Song voiced Anne in Amphibia in 2019 when the series came out, and that's what made me want to go watch it. Yes, I am aware of this information. Y'all, just because I don't talk about something don't mean that I don't know. Like, how I was introduced to Brenda Song was through London Tipton, and to be honest, not really, because before I watched The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, she was in Like Mike, and she was also in It's Not Reading and We've Stuck in the Suburbs. Like, Brenda Song is my childhood. She deserves her flowers, okay? It needs to be booked and busy, I'll tell you that. Anyway, Kim Parker in The Parkers ended up getting the same treatment that London Tipton got in both of their spin-off series. It's so sad to see that there are so many big similarities between these two characters. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a brief rundown on what I said in my video about the flanderization of London Tipton. London Tipton basically is the Hotel Harris in the Disney Channel sitcom The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and its spin-off that is terrible, The Sweet Life One Day. While she was an airhead, one of the main things about London's character that is a prominent factor within the series is that she's not smart. Well, I wouldn't say not smart, she's not very smart. We're gonna get into it. In The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, as the show goes on, we learn that London isn't smart because not because she has a hard time understanding things, but she's not smart because she doesn't want to go to school and she doesn't learn how to do anything for herself because she doesn't see the need to. London was born with the silver spoon in her mouth. She is set for life. Like, London Tipton is literally a parody of Paris Hilton. And if you don't know who Paris Hilton is, do you go here? But basically, Paris Hilton is a Hotel Harris. Y'all know the Hilton Hotel? Yeah, that's her daddy. That's her pappy right there. Now, when it comes to London Tipton, she doesn't have to worry about getting a job or knowing how to do anything for herself because, one, her daddy gives her money all the time. And then also with her father giving her money, the business is going to be passed down to her eventually. And then when it does get passed down to her, she most likely don't gotta do nothing. And two, London literally has people that does things for her. She has people that cooks her meals. She has people that cleans for her. The only thing she really can do is like bathe herself and know how to go shopping and knowing stores and this and that and the third. And she knows how to use money. She knows money. But everything else, anything that seems like stuff that she can have people do for her, she don't know how to do it. But as the show goes on, we do start to see that she is willing to learn how to do things. Even though Maddie had a difficult time working with her, you did see that London did come around to actually wanting to learn how to try. And then we have that entire saga when Mr. Mosley was teaching her how to drive. And she actually did want to do that. Because learning how to drive is not easy. That's just the truth. And then we see that she does end up getting a better paternal figure in her life because her dad being so absent in her life is part of the reason why she was the way she was. Like, Mr. Mosby, if she didn't have him, she would have been lost. And I love that entire episode where she did end up having another paternal figure in her life who ended up being her stepmom. And we never saw her again. Like, I really love that episode. I'm telling y'all, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is such an amazing show when you take out Zack and Cody. Like, I'm sorry, not sorry. I am not Dylan and Cole Sprout's Hive. Their acting does not impress me. Nothing they're really in impresses me. I like the show much better when they weren't in it or when they weren't the main focus. And then all of that was thrown out the door when they went on that boat. I'm telling y'all, when Zach and Cody, when they went on that boat, so much of what we loved about The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was gone. Because one thing we loved about The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody is that the show had a lot of heart to it. The Sweet Life on Deck was full of just making fun of people just for the sake of being mean and nasty. And that was during that entire era of Disney Channel where the humor was very weird, where everything was just people just making fun of each other. And the stuff, it'd be like stuff that didn't even make sense for the most part. But when London went to The Sweet Life on Deck, all of that character development that we got in The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was gone. Like, she was just a bumbling idiot. And it wasn't funny. I know Brenda Song had to work with the kind of script that they gave her for that series, but it just wasn't hitting. Now, while Kim Parker still did have depth in her spin-off series called The Parkers, it was a bit frustrating because Kim didn't feel like the same person anymore. Like, Kim's character in Moesha was a character that was very fun. She was a little clueless, very boy crazy, and always making bad decisions, but she was aware of her surroundings. And then also, Kim loved fashion, as we saw that being expressed in her outfits. For the most part, Kim's main focus and story arc in Moesha was to, you know, be the counterpart, best friend to the main character, Moesha. So when it came to Kim's character, they didn't really have to do much with her in that show, as Kim was a side character and Moesha was a series that focused on Moesha and her family. It's not called Kim. Now, fast forward in time to where Kim goes to college, which is the spinoff of Moesha, The Parkers. Kim was in high school in Moesha. She's grown into Parkers. This is her entering adulthood. They made her such an idiot. I high-key don't like how the Parkers played into that women who are into beauty and fashion are stupid trope that we were seeing so much at that time period of when this show was released. Sorry y'all, my earring unpopped and I'm kind of bad. Go in. Alright. Oh, ow. Y'all know I love these earrings. What is going on? And I can't get it off. But this was a popular trope that we were seeing at the time, most likely done with white women, because a lot of these movies and shows at the time had ditzy, fashion-obsessed white women. It was a very popular trope at the time period. And The Parkers was in production when we were seeing this trope everywhere. And one thing I've noticed about black movies and black sitcoms and just black entertainment in general is that they copy so many of the tropes from movies that have a predominantly white cast in them, not just movies, TV shows just as well. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but this specific trope was bad because of who they did it with. It was a bad thing in The Parkers because they gave this trope to a character that was already very well established, and then they ended up turning Kim's character into something that she wasn't. In Moesha, I never really thought Kim was stupid. Like, she wasn't super duper smart, but she wasn't super smart, but she wasn't extremely naive either. She was like your average B- C+ student in that range. To be honest, if the Parkers wanted to do the ditzy fashion obsessed woman trope, they could have just made a new character, because almost everyone in this show was a new character. Y'all didn't have a problem with doing it. Y'all could have did it. You didn't need to do this trope to somebody that we all already knew. And this was so frustrating to me because I didn't watch Moesha until I was like halfway done with watching The Parkers. And I was so confused by Kim's character because she didn't feel like the same person. Like, the style and the aesthetic was there. She was still funny, and that's just counting as Bond. That was pretty much it. Everything else, she just felt different. As the TV show Moesha relied on Kim's character as being Moesha's duff. If you don't know what that means, it means the designated ugly fat friend. I am not sitting here saying that Kim is either fat or ugly. I'm saying this is the name of the trope. And this is a horrible trope, and I don't think it's needed anymore. I don't really see it that much in like media that's coming out today, but it was a big prevalent factor in the 90s and in the early 2000s. In The Parkers, she was the main character, and they figured out that the Duff trope really didn't work with her anymore. And I found it kind of sus how they did give Kim a new best friend in this show, and she was a white woman named Stevie, and they didn't bother to make Stevie Kim's Duff. Interesting. Anyway, throughout the show, we saw Kim was in numerous relationships and that plenty of men had interest in her. And it's like as if they took one factor about her character that was originally there and they had to try and figure something else out. As I mentioned in Moesha, Kim could be a bit lost sometimes, but it's like the writers took that one factor about her and they made her extremely ditzy to the point where it was annoying. Like, Kim got so stupid to the point where she didn't graduate. And yes, throughout the series, we see that Kim is making clothes and getting fashion jobs in and out in the sorts, and, you know, working on her music with Freestyle Unity, you know, my favorite arc of the series. We find out that she's so busy with fashion and doing stuff outside of school and not doing her homework. She failed all her classes and she wasn't even trying. And I'm not trying to say she wasn't trying, because everybody else was doing just as much as her outside of school and they ended up passing. And there's just this part in the series that just takes me out, because there's an entire episode about like Kim, Stevie, and T. Those are, you know, Kim's two best friends within the series. They had like a test that they needed to pass. They decided to cheat on the test, and it's not that Kim cheated on the test is what made her stupid. It's that she actually told the teacher that she cheated on the test. Why? If we set Kim's character apart from Moesha, that's hilarious. But then if you don't, it's kind of sad, because we're just like, how did she go from that to that? And one thing I find irritating is that the Parkers is Parker's adulthood, her first few years of her entering adulthood. Why was she smarter when she was a child in Moesha than she was in the Parkers? Like, I understand, like, a lot of people in their early 20s be making really stupid and bad decisions, but it was to the point where it was kind of jarring, because I'm just like, this isn't you. You would not have done that back then. Why was Kim Parker smarter when she was 17 than when she was 21? I love the Parkers, I really do, but this is just one thing about the series that just really does upset me, because so much of Kim's storylines had to do with the fact that she wasn't smart. Because she went from being a side character in one show, and then, you know, when she had her own series, they had to figure out how to make a 22 episode segment focused solely on her, and then they ended up finding something that worked out for a little bit and went overboard with it. Messed that up. I don't care, I'm keeping that in there because I make mistakes. I ain't perfect, I slip up my words. But it just got so annoying to the point where she would just be making bad decisions because she refused to turn her brain on. And it's like she only turned her smarts on when it came to fashion and nothing else. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This one was long overdue, especially, okay? I had a lot of fun making it, but I also wanted you guys to just sit and think a little bit when it comes to writing and of the sorts, because one thing I have noticed when it comes to watching a lot of shows from the 90s and early 2000s is that I kind of learned what not to do when it comes to character development and the sorts, because I'm like, you don't have to flanderize your characters in order for them to keep their story arcs going. But then also another thing that I learned is that you can just end things. Things don't have to be all super drawn out and long. But if you guys are interested in these fine products today, I will have the link down below. I'm not even joking, y'all. I seriously do love Dossier. My go-to fragrances at the moment. And you guys want to know the other ways you can support me, I have Buy Me a Coffee, have Ko-fi, and I have Patreon links. The links will be down below. Also, I have merchandise, these 3 necklaces that you guys always see in my videos that I'm wearing. Like, I wear these all day every day. It's my favorite costume, not costume pieces, acting like this is cosplay, but my favorite outfit pieces. The links to those will be down below. harriyannahook.com. Use code hotspot30 for 30% off. Links will be down below. Also have a GoFundMe campaign going on for my web series right now called The Progenies. Link to that will be down below just as well. If you want to know ways you can support me for free, stream The Progenies. The link to that will be down below. And then just to follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARRIYANNA. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a good night.
'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate. Just congratulate.
The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtimes. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they shocking. You